What's going on, everybody? It's the Paddle Dude, and this is the Stand Up Paddle Magazine radio show. We are back at full steam for 2013, and we've got a great show. Reed Inouye hooks up with Svein Rasmussen with Starboard. They're in Bangkok, so let's throw it out there. Here's Reed Inouye on the Stand Up Paddle Magazine radio show.
Welcome to this week's Stand Up Paddle Magazine radio show. This week we're in Thailand, in Bangkok, and we're here with Svein from Starboard. Welcome to the show, Svein.
Thanks, Reed. Great to have you here.
So you've been in the business of building boards for how many years now?
We started building boards back in '94, so it's been well over 18 years now.
And started in the whole windsurfing world.
Yeah. I mean, we go back to the late '70s, playing around on the water and basically traveling the world windsurfing. And then I guess some 7 years ago, we really got excited about paddleboarding, and that's kind of what I do mostly now. So
you have the most unique setup, because from your house to your workplace, it's about a quarter mile, and you paddle to work every day, right?
I try as often as I can. It's just quite a blessing to be able to do that.
How has the whole stand-up paddleboard, the whole lifestyle, the whole business been for you since you started?
I guess it changed at least my daily rhythm. Now I would be up, at sunrise and go paddling a bit, do some turns around the lake and stuff, and then a bit of stretching afterwards. Whereas in the past, I've been sleeping in and waiting for going to work. So I guess when I slept a couple of hours earlier and getting into a great mood early on. So definitely a very positive engagement indeed.
As far as the business side goes, how is it something exciting for you? Because it's just from the startup stage, the grassroots stage, it's grown into something bigger.
Yeah, it's just like a new baby, This is something new, and lots of. The main thing is that there's so many people that really are energetic and share everything they do. So it's like it's a way to just explore new directions, and I guess this is the most exciting chapter of my life so far.
When you say exciting, how big do you envision the whole stand-up paddle world being?
When we talk about this, most people laugh about my visions, but you look at where kayaking is and skiing and those sports, so one should see millions out there in some 10 years. So it's still a long way to go, and there are many countries to cover. Like, we haven't really started in China, Russia yet, so or India. There's quite a few billion people living over there. But if you look at the US, where we are there now, one would expect it to at least grow to 5 times that. So there's plenty of room to grow everywhere.
Outside of the U.S., in fact, the U.S. market for Starboard, how big has it grown over the last 3 years? Do you see a steady growth or just exploding growth?
Well, it's steadily exploding. Basically, our distribution partner has been pretty much doubling numbers every year the last 4 years. So it's growing real fast. It's been hard for them to kind of keep enough stock, because it's hard to make a business plan when one doubles every year. That's pretty tough. But they've been doing an incredible job following up. Yeah.
As far as the U.S., what parts of the regions of the U.S. do you see big growth?
The growth is probably coming quite a bit into Florida and up the East Coast. Of course, California has always been great, and as our distribution partner Trident is based in Canada, we see a lot of growth also in Canada. So the whole North American territory is coming up. But I guess what's going to be exciting is over the next maybe 3 to 5 years, when we go more inland, the big lakes and things like that, all the rivers. So that will be the next. That will be the real big expansion when things really get started in the inland states.
And so you see the vision of, the inland market is still pretty much untapped. Now, when you look at Europe, which you have probably just as many lakes or even more than just the U.S. alone, the Europe market, you think will be something that will just really take off as well?
Yeah, there'll be, Europe is pretty much like America, many states. Some will do well, others not. Germany is starting to pick up really well. France is there, England, Italy will be definitely hooked soon, and then a small countries, the Eastern European ones, the Scandinavian ones. Some of these countries are doubling every year, others maybe at 20-25% growth. So they will all have their individual strengths and weaknesses, but basically every country that has water will get into it.
Does a winter, I guess the winter cold, like in Europe, affects people paddling? You think it's more of a seasonal thing?
Good question. Our friend in Norway sent us a photo of him paddling in 21 degrees minus, so everything is possible. And we also see Warren Curry up in Canada. He is paddling straight through the winter. He's also doing demos indoor to get people ready for the spring season. So what you see, it's really the development in a country and a region really is up to the most enthusiastic people. They will drive their friends and move the whole country often. So the speed and the movement of the sport is coming down to a few individuals that inspire the others. Like you, Reed, you'll make sure that people know the sport and will promote the sport, and therefore it will flourish wherever you go and spread a good word.
All right. Thanks for the compliment. From what you see with Europe, with the competitive side of windsurfing, where do you see the sport of SUP racing going in Europe?
It is already going places. France probably have events every weekend. England, lots of events. Germany have their lake tours, so they kind of do one different lake every weekend. It will just grow and take off. And what after discussing with you, we can see the clear path of needing to start junior divisions. Kids 6, 8, 10, getting into to events and making sure they're regionalized. So like there will be, let's say Germany, there will be something in Hamburg and Munich and all the different cities, and then in the end they will race the state championships. So when that starts to get in place, and it may take another 3-4 years before it really is coming to fruition, but then of course it will be a fantastic, what can we say, it's a fantastic opportunity for kids and grown-ups to get into race in the local arena, so they don't need to travel to the other side of the country to test their skills.
How was it in windsurfing as far as competition? Was there a lot of traveling even for the younger kids to be able to compete, or was it regionalized in different states?
Let's say a place like France would always have a very good system where every little sailing club would have their events, and even in my I'm from Norway, so Arendal, we were 15,000 people living there, but we had events every week. And then, the best guys from the local event, from our little sailing club, Arendal Sailing Club, they would then go to maybe the South Norwegian Championship, and then to the Norwegian Championship, and then you go to the Europeans, and then to the world. So there was a structure, but at that time we were structured under sailing, and sailing already had these principles in place. So it wasn't needed to be created. Like in paddleboarding, it seems like we don't really connect that closely with kayaking, paddling yet. So we may create our own path, which means we have to create all these event styles and the setups around it.
Talking about the technology and the board side, you guys are going in all the different directions: inflatables, race boards, consumer boards, yoga boards. What's taken place from the first year you started till now?
Well, two things. One is technology, the other one is shapes. The easy part was shapes in the beginning. There were just, two boards. There was a 12.6 cruiser by 30 it was, and then we worked with Mark Rapost, and then I think it was a 12.2 by 26.5. That was kind of the first range, the first year. We had those one was in wood and one was in the normal fiberglass. So that was kind of the start. Today I don't know actually how many ships we have, but what we always loved was to try to surprise people, bring them something new that we thought really would be great for the market. So we would go and make really wide boards, because we knew that would be great stability. So we made like a board called the Whopper. It was 1034. At that time people were totally laughing at us because they couldn't think something at 34 width could ride a wave, but it proved to be a really great success. So people getting into the waves, that's like the favorite board, and we'll keep it for a long time. They probably never even get rid of it. And then we tried to go for the shorter boards. So went down and surprised with I think it was a 6.6. the impossible, 6 by 30. So that was good fun. So we're just trying to stretch the limits and see how far one can go. Of course, the major need is for kit in between. And we explore every possible dimension we can. If it's into racing, like the board in front of us here now is an unlimited 18-foot flat water board. I would imagine that being by far the quickest flat water board ever made. And then right behind you is a Astro Racer, so that's an inflatable race board at I think 26-inch wide. So it's maybe the first real race inflatable board. And we just try to go into every possible direction, much because I think it's a lot of fun. And we try to, if somebody has an idea, we check it out, and if you like it, or if somebody really likes it, to make it available. And that's kind of how we feel about things. Coming to technology, meaning build methods, that's something maybe even more exciting, as we can go in and change the way boards ride. So there'll be one board at a certain size or a certain model that we can make ride very differently by controlling the flex patterns and controlling the weight. So for instance, the new carbon boards, we can build them 3 to 4 kilos lighter than our heavier constructions, and we can make them flex, which is if you come from skiing or surfing, one would know how important that would be. And well, that's in the waves, and we also find the same in racing, that we also will be working a lot on flex patterns for race boards, and of course also make them super light. As you know, weight is always your friend. I mean, low weight is your friend, and it's quite remarkable how much better a wayboard feels at a lower weight, and how much better a race board performs at lower weight. Just every time you put the paddle in the water, it accelerates a little bit, and if there is some chop, you just get gliding a bit quicker, like downwind, as you catch a few more waves. If the weight is just on 2-3 pounds, that will make a difference. So and coming to weight, also paddles, I think that's the very most important part. Yeah, I'll get back to that later, right? It's too much fun here now.
Going back to our race sports, what's like the ultimate weight you guys are working on? Do you have? I mean, you got all your team riders working on weight of boards, ultralight boards. What's like the ultimate weight for these guys?
Well, the weight of the board should probably be nothing. That would be the great. It just shouldn't weigh anything. That'd be fantastic. Then we could streamline designs according to a weightless board. In the meantime, we can't achieve that. So I guess the lowest we go now is about 9 kilos. Which is 9 times 2.2, so around 20 pounds. That's kind of where we are sitting at. And what is actually even more exciting about the race program, other than the weight and the flex ratio, is the way we are actually designing the boards on the computer with Matt Rosier, who is a naval architect. He's the design manager together with Brian Szymanski in California. And he's calculating the amount of energy that it takes to ride the different boards at different speeds. So for instance, we'll design a board for, let's say, going 10 kilometers, which may be 6-7 miles or something like that. And that's when it has the less friction. So we'll try to design it for that. And maybe there will be another board that we design for 11 or 12 kilometers, and then we compare and see where we go. But the cool thing is that finally we can actually we can control what speed we are able to achieve, and see how we can actually control the amount of energy used at the different speed levels. So we can build boards that will perform better at 8 or better at 10 or 12 k. And that's something we have started and something we'll keep on refining. So that's something I think we got into just less than a year ago. So now with the help of a CNC machine and stuff, we can spit them out and get them tested quickly.
So combining technology, computers, the science of the water, the board, the flex, combining all of that to not really make the perfect board, because it'll never be perfect, but a board that for this time could be probably the fastest.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we love, when we get sort of some results from an event, and we see that we are doing well, then we are really happy. Or we also have this course around the lake here, and so the easiest way to beat the actual record is just to make a faster board. So that's also a really good inspiration.
For those of you who are not here looking at what I'm looking at, one side of the lake is his house, the other side is the factory, and they can R&D right in the middle, and just process things right away and go back in on the computer, right, and figure out things and go back in and redesign.
Yeah, that's what's great. So I guess in a little while you will meet up with Matt, and you can sit and look at how he actually prepares it all, and then we can ship up a board, CNC it, and then tomorrow we can ride it. So it's that is what I like high-speed development, no waiting around, instant gratification.
Don't go anywhere. We've got part 2 with Rita Nui and Starboard's Svein Rasmussen from Bangkok. Coming up next, right after this new release from Slightly Stupid on the Stand Up Paddle Magazine radio show.
Everybody get it nice. Rhythm and selection never quiet like no mind. Selection be the best and they gon' touch this one tonight. Don't come to argue, did it never come to fight. I put down my gun, put down my knife, let them all unite. And pull out my herb and pull out the sack in everybody's eye. Everybody in this place can unite. Why? Everybody in more line, they can't get high. Come on, get it. It's someone get the on. Them Babylonian, them Babylonian can never touch them champion. Then one up in the millions. I on the fucking throne. Anything we do when you can do better when you alone. It's a billion, a zillion. 10 times I split, that's a mega split a billion. I raise them up and get high, put it up in the sky. My hero, yeah, so I can go do. See anything that I could do when I'm with you.
How can you listen to the Stand Up Paddle Magazine radio show on the go? Download our app. It's available for iPhone and Android. You can listen to the Stand Up Paddle Magazine radio show worldwide. It's a free download. Here's part 2 with Rita Nui and Svein Rasmussen with Starboard from Bangkok on the Stand Up Paddle Magazine radio show.
Let's talk about paddles. When you first started, you did a few paddles, and now you got a whole line of some, and I've tried a couple of the paddles, and they're pretty fast. I want to say really fast. What's happening with your paddles now?
The driving force behind the paddles is that I think for most people the paddle is more important than the board. So we figured out that here we really have to do a good job, as it will be great for more people to get the best possible performing paddle. So there are a couple of aspects about the paddle. Is of course starting with the handle at the top, then the shaft and the blade. The blade is the part that is the furthest away from you, so here you have to really concentrate on the weight, get down the weight on that blade. So we've been working a lot to reduce the weight, and I think last year we reduced the weight by I think 35%. This year we'll probably do 20%. and we just analyze every little part of the blade and try to figure out smarter layups. Fortunately, our manufacturer is just half an hour away, so in the morning they may get a spec of making 4 new layups, and in the afternoon we'll test it and then see how was the flex of that blade, how was the weight, and then we put it into the strength machine to see if it's strong enough to take the load. And what we found is that we really like a super light, relatively flexible blade, and we also like a little bit of a stiffer shaft. But you have to also make sure that the shaft is very light, so the combination of shaft and blade is light. Further, we found that really fat oval shafts are great for racing. Became our favorite. Round are nice, but I really enjoy the fat oval ones. And ovals we can also make a bit lighter, as obviously there's more structure into them. So that's been great. And then working on the combination of the stiffness of the shaft and the stiffness of the blade, and see what really works out the best. And we have a dedicated manager for that, Andrew Miller, American, and it's just amazing how all the small changes put together makes one model year very different from another. So now we are starting to get some really good stuff together.
What made you? Well, I know why you got into the whole paddle side. How big has it grown for you?
You mean paddleboarding or the paddles?
The paddles itself.
Well, I guess we are doing almost as many paddles as we do boards. So we may do some 15,000 paddles, I guess, maybe some 20,000 boards, 20,000 boards. Yeah, that's kind of where we're hitting at.
And I know 5 years from now, that number is definitely going to grow, right?
Yeah, but it comes to just making sure that we keep on top of the development. In the end of the day, it's just a matter of building stuff that people like. If we start to slack, then we will fall behind. So we just have to keep on working hard, and more than anything, find the right people to work with, and motivate and inspire them. So it's just us people trying to do the best we can.
Now, I want to talk about your staff, your employees, your team. You can't do it alone. It seems like I've walked through your organization of your company. How many people you got working for you here?
At the lake, we'd be, I think, something a little bit over 50. And then we have some other divisions in Cape Town, South Africa, and in Perth, Australia.
Let's talk about your team now. Do you know all your team riders?
We know all the international riders, but we may have a few hundred if you in paddleboarding, and then we have probably 500 windsurfing and a few kiteboarders and things around there. So I don't know them all personally, but yes, we have a lot of friends, that's for sure.
It seems like every one of your riders that I meet in the stand-up paddle world, they're all just super nice, good personality. How do you guys connect?
Really lucky here. So we have a lot of friends that are scouting riders, like Steve Sugaru, good friend from the US. He met up with Sean Pointer and got him on board. He just helped us to sign up Vanina last week. So we got scouts around. There may be shops, distributors, or friends or others, and often also riders will maybe contact us direct, because they know that it's easy to approach us. If somebody sends us a message, we always get back to them and try to work out something. That comes to if there is a problem with the product, we'll get back to them right away. Or if somebody wants to ride with us and have just a minor deal. If you are from Wisconsin and you're going to do a lot of promotion there and you contact us, we'll maybe help you out with some discounts through the local shop and just move forward. And more than anything, we'll listen to everybody. If somebody's got an idea, we will go out in the workshop and try it. And that's also what I think is a cool thing, to get all the ideas from everybody and try to work around them.
I mean, I know a lot of your riders, and I'm just going to ask you what inspires you about a couple of them. What inspires you about Connor Baxter?
Connor, he's a fantastic kid. So we started to work together when Connor was 5. Because his mother and father were helping us with distribution in the US, and we did photo shoots over there in Maui, so we got to know each other. And then he's just this incredible kid, he's just like a wonder kid. He's so nice, so kind, so helpful, and now he's the best paddler in the world. So we kind of followed him the last, I guess, 12-13 years, and it's just wonderful to see a kid shaping up and going where he's going, and then with such a fantastic attitude. So he's really a wonder kid.
What about Zane Schweitzer?
Zane is absolutely fantastic. So Zane has all this energy and just always so helpful, nice, and inspiring. And yeah, it's just you just get energy being around him and his whole family. So we're just happy to have guys like these that they're wonderful people, but then out on the water they're the best in the waves and the best in racing at the same time. And I think that's a very special thing, that you have athletes that not only are very competitive and performing extremely well on the world level, but at the same time they're nice people, very approachable. And in many sports I think that doesn't exist. So paddleboarding may be special here, that you have just a great group of people at the time being.
Sean Pointer.
Sean Pointer, most helpful, inspiring person ever. He will go out of his way to help us. If we say, Sean, can you come with us to Thailand tomorrow? He will just drop everything and come and help us. And then he will go test stuff, and he will be going out winning the next day. Just so forthcoming in every respect. And it's hard to find somebody like Sean. Really, extremely lucky to have been able to meet up with him, and then see him also, going from surfing now into be one of the leaders in paddle surfing.
One guy that's been working with you for a long time, Scotty McKercher.
Scott, there you go, long back. Wow, this must be like, late 80s. So we were windsurfing together. And we traveled together, we were competing together those days, and early on, I guess, Scott just woke up one morning and had a dream and said that, the dream told him, we have to join Starboard and have some fun. So he called me up straight away and came over, and we're like brothers, so we've been hanging out ever since. And it's just, again, a soul that is just like, feel like a brother. We do everything together, and very blessed to be able to meet people like Scott McKercher.
What about a guy who came from the kayak world, the river world, Dan Gavere? I saw a shot of him jumping a big waterfall. What do you say about Dan?
So Dan, we haven't met that often, maybe 7-8 times, but now this time he's coming over. I think he's landing tonight, so now we're going to spend a week together and hang out and have a lot of fun. So probably travel up and down the rivers and see what's going on. Kayaking is a sport that I don't know so well, but I see what Dan is able to do going down those waterfalls, and it's hard to believe he's still alive. So we really look forward to spend some time with him and understand how he's able to prepare himself to take those falls. I don't understand. I don't get it. And also he's a very good paddle developer, so we'll spend the week now to look through the paddle development and see how we can prepare 014 together with him. And also we have some inflatable boards that we'll be testing. So this week we'll also spend time to work on lots of products with him. And I'm a product-oriented person, so we get to know people through products. So now we'll have fun and play with Dan. So that's going to be a great time ahead now.
Now you got some girls on your team that travel a lot as well. You got Anne-Marie Reichman and you got Nikki Greg. What about them?
Anne-Marie goes back to the windsurfing days, and Scotty has all these girlfriends. One of them will be Anne-Marie, so I know kind of Anne-Marie through Scotty. And now we look back 3-4 years to join us, and she's just so helpful, and she's like of course a very beautiful woman, so fantastic when you're joining for the photo shoots, and very helpful. So always good fun to hang around with her. Tiffany Ward out there, these girls, they're like there's nothing like them. That's great. Nikki, we hope that she could come out and join us also sometime. She hasn't yet been here. It's like when people come to Thailand, we get time to spend with them. Otherwise I'll go to a trade show, but at that trade show things are happening so fast, so we don't really get to know each other that well. We'll sit down and have some good chats, but we need kind of time away to gel. So we look forward to see how Nikki goes with her programs, and she's been a great inspiration in getting women's gear prepared, and she's got her own boards, and now also her new yoga board, like a wide inflatable yoga board. That's going to be great fun. So much looking forward to see more of Nikki. So the future will be much happy.
Anybody else that I might have left out?
Oh, there's so many. I should really get the catalog in front of me now to point out a few. But there's a lot of people on the road that have been helping us. Jim Drake, who passed away last year, has been an incredible inspiration. He invented windsurfing at the time. And I think the last few years he was way more interested in see how we could how we could make paddleboarding better. I mean, we are still working on some ideas from him, and his kids will come out, I guess, a bit later this year to get to test all the new stuff that he's been actually designing before he passed away. So that's going to be great. Yeah, there's just such a multitude of people that help us. And that's also why we have this huge program, because everybody have the ideas and then we work together on them. So quite a special environment.
Now I'm going to change the subject. You're one guy who travels a lot. How many miles do you put on the airplane every year?
The fact is, I don't really travel much. I just go places and I return the following day. So I use a passport every year. I kind of stamp them out. But it doesn't feel like traveling because you just go and you come back. How many miles? I don't know. But really, I try to stay home as much as I can. So yeah, and my parents, my father is 88, so he spends half a year here together with their mother. So I make really quick trips to get back and make sure that they are taken care of.
So let me ask you this on a personal note: what do you love about Thailand?
What I love here. First of all, I feel safe. People are very friendly. It's an easy lifestyle. It's just like it's a soft feeling. The energy here is smooth. There is like no sharp points. So I guess that's the main thing. And then, of course, all the other things that people always see. You will see the food. You will know that there are many beautiful places. But what overrules everything is just the general feel of the country, which is just laid back. I mean, if you think we talked about how you felt about Thailand, in a certain way you could argue, yes, it's like Hawaii, 100 years ago.
I've been here for 2 or 3 days, couple of days, and I already feel like this is how Hawaii must have been back 20s and 30s. Just. You can leave your boards out, you can leave your house unlocked, and you don't have to worry about anything. Everyone here lives so simple, and it's almost like they understand what life is all about. Is that true?
Yes, I guess that's much true. People are. It's hard to understand a Thai mind when you arrive here, because they do approach life differently. Like sometimes in the past, if you had complicated, let's say, manufacturing problems. I remember I came here back in '94, and we asked them, so how could you possibly mess it up like this? And then they would start to smile and laugh at you. And what I didn't realize is that when they smile or laugh, that's kind of to show that they really apologize for not getting to do the right thing at the time. So there'll be different approaches, but their approach, instead of kind of getting upset and making the shoulders fall down, they basically just laugh about it. So that's quite funny. and there are different things similar to that take some time to understand. But then when you start to feel and see how things work and work with it, then it's great. One important thing here is that if you shout at somebody, you lost. So you cannot really get upset with anybody and shout loud, because then the game was that you lost your temper. So whatever the occasion was, you kind of were the one that, as a personal level, went across the border. So one learns to work with people in very peaceful manners. Just if there's a problem, one works through it and just moves on. So that's also a good lesson, very good lesson for me, to see that there's many ways to move forward in life.
And I think, especially in like U.S. culture, it's almost common to hear the boss yelling at somebody or just picking on. Nobody wants to accept the blame. Here, everybody accepts it and they move on, right?
Yeah, well, that's what they try, right?
Last question. If in this world of business and everyone trying to succeed, is there anything? I think you have a different outlook than some people in life. What's your goal in life? That you want to leave here on this planet.
Well, that is of course the fundamental question, and. There are, of course, several things, and some one may succeed better with than others. Certainly, one wants to ensure that one's family does as well as it possibly can. But trying to to see if one can somehow inspire the world and generations to come to just take care of planet Earth a bit better in all respects. And my feeling is that through paddleboarding there'll be a lot of people who gently cruise on waterways, and they will feel that we can improve the quality of nature, we can help to protect it. And I guess when we protect nature, we protect people at the same time. So these are things that I want to work on the next 15, 20 years to see how we through the sport, through our brand and our networks of anybody from team riders to shops and distribution partners and manufacturers, how we can try to make a difference, inspire people to protect the planet in any way possible. Being local or global, even just talking with you, Reed, is great, because we know that through your magazine we can do things. My heart goes out often to places where I can make a difference. Like in the US, my voice will not reach many millimeters, but like there's a country just west of here called Myanmar, Burma. They're just starting their evolution of becoming modern. So there I'll spend quite some time to help certain areas there and just developing smartly, help them maybe set up national parks and programs of how to put school kids into the understanding of taking care of the nature. That's what I would like to see. But in general, if we can, through Tiki, if you can live the Tiki life and somehow just take care of our planet a bit better, and then a community of doing that, is that people are working together with this, would also create happiness, because when we do something we think is good, then we will become happy. So through helping nature, maybe we will also have we create a little bit more meaning in life for everybody. So we'll see what we can do, but mainly I'm just hoping that people will see this, and then I'll help to see how we can put them all together, because that's our strength, is networks, a lot of people. So if we can connect people's ideas with some movements, that's really, when I go into the grave, if we did a little bit there, then at least my time wasn't totally wasted.
All right, and if for those of you who don't know, the Tiki is the Starboard logo. And I want to thank Svein for inviting me here. And I don't even want to say congratulations and good luck in your business. You guys are already busy, but the fact that you also are grounded and you understand the planet, that's I can't say any more, but thanks for inviting me here.
Thank you, Reed. It's been a great pleasure, and I still got some days to go, so looking forward.
All right, thanks.
Thanks a lot.
Reed, safe travels. Thank you very much for doing this show from Bangkok. Thank you to Svein Rasmussen with Starboard for being on the show today. Replays today at 4 p.m. and 10 p.m. Central. For the Stand Up Paddle Magazine radio show, this is the Paddle Dude. Everybody have a great day.
Stand-up paddle information and music with interviews, major event coverage and scheduling, announcements, and live updates from stand-up paddlers around the country.